back to my channel. My name is Laura. I have a top 5. I think I'm going to post this on Wednesday. So top 5 Wednesday. There are 5 books that I'm thankful for, and I picked out 5 books from my shelf, and there are 3 nonfiction and 2 fiction books that I have read that I really enjoyed, and I'm very thankful, and they are on my favorite shelf. So here we go. And most of these I have spoken about before, so you will see some of these books again. Some of them are something you probably won't read, but yeah, like the first book. Okay, the first book is something. When I was in high school and middle grade, I did not like to read. I was very good in math, but English was not my favorite subject, so I was not a reader. However, there is one book that I read, and once I read this book, I had to read all the books she wrote. So, and I've mentioned this one before. This is in the 1980s. I read this book. So I read Flowers in the Attic, V.C. Andrews. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, you read that when you were in your teens. I said, yes, I read this one in my teens. This book, devoured. I couldn't put it down. I read this book in like 2 days maybe, and then I went to the next book, and then to the next book, and to the next book, then I went to the next one, and next one. I kept reading and reading and reading. So V.C. Andrews was my favorite author. Yes, she writes dark books. Yes, she writes topics that are you probably wouldn't want to read right now, but this book, I still remember reading it. So yeah, this book will stay with you for a long, long time. Yeah. So yeah, this one, this is not my original copy. I actually picked this up later on. Yeah, because I remember reading it. No, I have not read it again. I know there is incest in this book, so yeah. But it's about teenagers that get trapped. The whole family goes into the attic. I'm sure everybody knows about the story. It was very popular. Now, if you watch the movie really was bad. And to this day, my husband still, he still teases me about the movie. So yeah, I don't suggest going to see the movie. The movie was really bad. But the book I could not put down. So yeah, she got me into reading, and so that's my first book. Okay, the second book is I'm gonna read this one first. Okay, the second book is a nonfiction book. It is called The Secret by Rhonda Bryn. This one is about, it's nonfiction. So, yeah, this one I read really quickly. It's about how negative things, if you think about negative things attract to you. If you think positive things attract to you. It was very, very highlighting. Actually, this book was given to me because I had a very bad time at one time, and I was really down and depressed, and a friend of mine mailed it to me, and she actually wrote inside the book, and here is her little note, and she mailed this book to me, and she wanted me to be happy and everything. So it says, "To Laura, sorry it took me so long to get this to you. I hope it helps." And this was from my friend Deb, and she mailed this to me, and it did help, and I still think about this book all the time. I should reread it because sometimes bad things are happening around me recently, but I think that I should reread this one day. This is on my nonfiction shelf, and yeah, very, very good book. So that's my second thing. Okay, so my third book, I'm going to read it. I'm going to put it, my third book is going to be as they read them. So the third book that I have read, and this one I read actually my husband bought this for me, and I have this on my desk in the kitchen. And this one is a nonfiction book, and it is Dave Ramsey, and it's The Total Money Makeover, and I read this from cover to cover. I learned a lot, and I do have an emergency fund because of this book. However, I am still living in debt, but But this one really, really helped me. I'm trying to get out of debt. I do have an emergency fund, and that has helped me out a lot, especially with our new medical things that we have. At least I have that to fall back on, and if we have bills that pop up that aren't in our monthly billing, this has helped me out a lot. So yeah, so I highly recommend you read this if you are in debt, whatever. I still don't pay by cash, but I still try to. I take out money once a week, and we have an allowance now, and we have an emergency fund. So that's this one, and I highly recommend it. Okay, the fourth book that I recommend reading is also a nonfiction book, and this one is called The 5 Love Languages, and it's like this, and I read this one recently with the past year or so, and this is by Carrie Chapman. And when I read this, I actually cried reading this book because I was having some issues in my marriage. I'm married 25 years, but sometimes things get on my nerve and I get very upset, and so this one really helped out a lot. I learned that I have a different love language than my husband. I like to be touchy-feely, and he does not. He likes to be serviced, and he just likes to use money and stuff to show his love, and that's not my love language. So we have different love languages, and this one really helped me out a lot. My sister actually recommended that I read this one. I wish it would have helped her. Yeah, so it didn't help her at all, but I'm hoping that someone else will read this one. It's a really good book. It's a nonfiction. So that's that's the fourth one. I'm sorry. Okay, and the fifth book is something I'm going to show. I shared with you this before, so I'm trying to get my journals out here. If I could get it out from my computer. Okay, the last book is a fiction book, and I read this one last year or the year before, and it is a fiction book, and it is a YA fiction book, and it's called Every Last Word. I am thankful for this book. This is by Tamara Island Stone. This is a mental health book. She has OCD, I think, in this book. But the reason I am thankful for this book is because after reading this book, I wound up making 3 journals. And my journals, and I've done videos on this before, I have a happy journal, I have a angry journal, and I have a sad journal. So this all was inspired by reading this book. So yeah, so I am thankful for that. And anyway, if you like to see the insides of these, I did do a flip through of these books. I'm not doing a new one because I don't write in them that often, only when I have really bad issues and I have to write things down. Yeah, so I have the angry, happy, and sad. So yeah, so these are great to get my thoughts down, and it really, really helps. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, whoever celebrates, and I will see you in another video. Thank you for watching. Bye.